DA leader John Steeinhuisen says the SABC's refusal to air the DA's election advert is politically motivated. Steenhuisen has been speaking in Makhushane village in Phalaborwa in Limpopo while campaigning. He says senior ANC leaders, President Cyril Ramaphosa and Minister Zizi Kodwa influenced the decision.
The Democratic Alliance political campaign is in full swing here in Limpopo. They brought the campaign here at Phalaborwa in Limpopo, and I also want to tell you that the president of the Democratic Alliance, Mr. John Steenhuisen, has just addressed the members of the public here in Phalaborwa, and he's continuing to tell them about the DA's message to rescue South Africa. And he's now joining me here on SABC News. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell us what brought you here in Limpopo, particularly this area of Phalaborwa.
Well, this area here has been neglected by the government here. There's record unemployment in Phalaborwa. People are suffering with no services. The municipality is dysfunctional here. It owes too much money in debt. There are no services being rolled out. But the big cry for the people here is jobs. Everyone here wants to work. They want the opportunity to work. From young people to older people, they're all crying about the fact that nobody has jobs, and it's becoming harder and harder for people to put food on the table when there are no jobs in the community. So we wanted to share our message about how we would create 2 million new jobs in South Africa over the short term, but also how we would grow the economy to make sure that we destroyed the unemployment rate and we had a jobs revolution in the country where more people got into work.
So how confident are you that indeed these people are going to vote for the Democratic Alliance in the upcoming general elections?
Well, after the speech I've delivered today, I hope that everybody here votes for the DA. But seriously, obviously we want to share the message that there is an alternative. That yes, things are bad. We have high unemployment. We have high crime. We've got a very high childhood malnutrition, and we don't have electricity. But things don't have to be this way. There is an alternative. And I've been speaking today about what that alternative is. And how a vote in an election is the most important weapon that people have against unemployment, against poverty, against crime and hunger, and that they must use that vote wisely because you only get a chance every 5 years.
I just want to bring in the matter regarding the Democratic Alliance political advert. You also told us that you are taking legal actions against the SABC for not taking the advert on air. What kind of illegal actions are you taking against the SABC?
Well, it's a violation of the freedom of speech in South Africa. Political speech is protected in this country. People should be allowed to be able to share their political messages without censorship. We lived for many, many years under the darkest days of this country where the state broadcaster censored the political views of people who didn't agree with the government. We believe that there's no place in our constitutional democracy for suppression of the freedom of speech. And that is why this is such a fundamental matter. The SABC may not like the advert, the president may not like the advert, but the reality is no one has the right to prevent people in South Africa from seeing that advert. All of the other broadcasters have been carrying the advert. Why is the SABC the one that is now not wanting to carry the advert? And we're obviously going to take this all the way to the Constitutional Court, because you cannot have the SABC censoring the political views of political parties in the country, no matter how uncomfortable they may find it.
Do you think that the decision by the SABC was politically motivated? And we understand that the SABC has also taken the matter to the ICASA to make a ruling or decision on that advert.
Well, they should have taken it to ICASA first before simply just banning it, because I hope that sanity is going to prevail at ICASA. But nonetheless, I can only think that this is political interference, because in the very letter from the SABC executive, it says we've taken note of the president's views and the views of the minister. Those are both ANC office bearers. Mr. Zizi Kodwa, who's the minister, sits on the NEC of the ANC. Mr. Ramaphosa is the president of the ANC. How can it be that you're now taking the political views of one party into consideration in determining whether the adverts of another political party should be aired before the public? This smacks of executive interference at the SABC. We've already seen how the president deployed the State Security Agency to go and put pressure on the head of news at SABC for what he called negative reporting. You cannot have a situation where the government dictates to the SABC what it should and shouldn't be doing. And we're going to make a very big line in the sand here, because never, never, never again in this country must it be that the state broadcaster gets used and abused by a political party to further their political objectives, rather than reporting honestly, fairly and transparently on all views in South Africa.